Pictures rolling.
Where do we just look at each other?
Whatever. Look at anything you want.
Is that what happens on these things?
Anything you want. Look at any way you want.
All right. As long as I hold this up to my mouth, though.
That's important. All right, here we are. Two brothers sitting on some stools with two microphones. What will happen?
Well, you know, I've sat with a couple folks and put a microphone in front of my face, and we talked about some things before.
How'd that go?
Well, they made a video about it.
Well, they do that video.
What did
they do with that video?
Put it on the internet.
And then what happened?
Still there.
Still there. Still being a video of a guy or two talking. Here's a couple of guys talking. Who knows what they're going to talk about? These are two guys right here.
Is there a title to this?
We'll see.
What about the overall thing?
This is overall thing is Jeffrey Justice is talking.
Oh no! I wish you told me that before I started.
Now we'll talk about music. We'll talk about Skip Room. We'll talk about your musical background. Talk about your dreams.
Have you already talked about
wishes.
yours?
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, I talk about me all the time.
Have you talked to you about have you talked about you to them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Plenty.
That's sweet.
Way more.
So we're gonna talk about me.
Way more than anybody wants to hear.
All right.
We're brothers.
I'm Justice.
This is Justice. This is my brother. One of my two brothers. I came first. He came second. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
And then
there's
after
a third
that,
one.
There's a third one. Somebody else came after that.
Shout out.
Shout out to. He'll come next. He'll be on this.
You'll see him.
We'll talk to him. All right. So I got a guitar when I was. Wait. All right. Let's go back. You took piano lessons.
I was gonna say, I think that guitar's over there with Mamaw's name on it.
That is a guitar, but before that, Mamaw and Mom
and Papaw.
And Papaw.
It's fading.
Fading.
I didn't get pop-pops.
All right, but I took piano lessons at 4. Did you? You did too.
There was a time that I remember learning how to play the piano, and I did a recital, and it was like Chariots of Fire.
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's pretty fitting.
Is that the one?
Yeah, it's pretty fitting. That's about a runner.
Oh, I was very nervous because I was like, dude, if I mess up, everyone hears it.
That's what happens.
Last recital, right there.
That was the last one.
That was it.
All right, that was that. And then down the road a little bit, much further down the road, I got a guitar, and you got a keyboard. No. Yes. Keyboard first.
Did I?
Pretty sure.
Tell me about it.
Drums came later. You got a keyboard, pretty sure the same time I got my first guitar, which was at 10 or 11. But I don't remember you being really that interested in playing.
Well, I don't remember it. So I don't think that I played it very much.
Because I was mostly in my room playing my guitar until some point along the way, you got a drum set. Do you remember why you got a drum set?
That's a good music story. I had a dream.
Oh.
And I saw that thing you do.
Yep, that's the lick.
And I went to sleep that night, and in my dream, I was just sitting on a drum set, and I was playing that lick. And I was like, "Oh, this is it. This is how you do that."
That's how you do it.
And then we had that. We had our great grandfather's kid in the attic pull that baby out.
That was before you got a drum.
Before drums, I got drums.
Okay, so we
pulled it out. We pulled it out in your room, right out of the attic, right there at Gray. When we were living in Gray.
Okay, we pulled that out.
I just remember it sitting there. I pulled it out. It had the hi-hat, had the toms, had everything. And
maybe that's where those toms still are.
That's what I thought. I thought we reached out to the person who lives there now.
I don't know. But I'm hoping they somehow miraculously come back to us.
Yeah, that would be great. But anyways, I woke up and I played that
beat on that drum.
That beat on that drum. And ever since, I was like, dude, all right, I got it now. It was just a quick separation of my brain. These guys got to operate a little differently. And then just base it all off of That Thing You Do.
Yeah, that's a movie called That Thing You Do, right? About the Wonders.
The Wonders.
It's not really a real band, but it's like a.
You hear the song though.
One hit, yeah. You doing that thing you do.
Things my heart into.
I quit.
I quit, Mister. What's his name?
I don't remember.
I quit.
All right, you got the drums. But then you got drums for Christmas. You got Tom.
At some point, I got drums. I started getting into some Blink-182.
That was it. Yeah.
So I needed to have a set.
That's right. And
to start banging on them boomers.
Banging on them boomers. And that's when we started playing some punk music.
Yeah, dude. Punk.
Blink-182. Sum 41.
I remember some of that.
What else? That was mainly.
I just listened to that Mark, Tom, and Travis show album.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
And played.
I'm pretty sure Dad threw it out the window.
Yeah, I was bummed.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a great CD.
Yeah.
They're real vulgar on it.
Pretty vulgar.
If you get affected by words. If you don't care about it, it's a sweet album because all their songs are so good.
If you get affected by words. If you get affected by words, it's not your album. No. All right.
But I just played Travis Barker style. I remember. Eventually in the basement, we put little blankets up. Oh, man.
And I was doing.
Did you have a mic? Would you sing?
Oh, I almost said, "Oh yeah," real quick, and then I pulled it back. I
feel like at some
I'd had to
point
because you're playing drums, and Dad was a DJ, so I'm sure we had a sound system. All I know is I just remember down the basement, we had the pads, the karate foam pads set up with made a square, and then we had blue tarps hanging down.
Oh yeah, the little pads.
It was like
pads?
puzzle.
Yeah.
Yep, and it was like
you could
foam.
hang upside down. Remember the bar? You could just pop. You could pop those things on your legs.
That's right. Just get a quick hang in if you wanted to. And that's what we were doing. And then jamming all the time. Couldn't get Javen involved really. There was a bass there, but couldn't really get him.
We knew 2 songs with Javen.
That's right. Ones where he could play just like a couple of notes.
Yeah, I remember. He dialed him in, but he'll have to tell everyone about his musical journey.
I won't talk for him.
Would never.
I gotta say,
dude, those socks are sweet.
Thanks.
What is it?
It's not a dad bod. It's a father figure. Look at the bottom of my socks. I'm showing to this camera. Oh gosh. All right.
I mean, the body's the wider your feet, the wider the bod.
It's it's not a dad bod, it's a father figure. All right, so I don't know. The first show we did, I think, was that
show.
The high school Battle of Bands, correct?
Mm-hmm.
We played with another guy. We brought in another guy, Travis. This is a funny story. Our friend Travis from high school, he got a djembe for Christmas, which is like a hand drum. He let us borrow it shortly thereafter, and we never gave it back. To this day.
Don't let us borrow your things.
This was year 2000, 2001, 2002. It is now the year 2024, and he has never enjoyed the Christmas present that he got.
Was it a Christmas present?
It was either Christmas or birthday, either one.
And it just left that quick.
Well, he let us borrow it, and it would never got returned. Yeah, and that's got to be like $100, $200 drum. Sorry, Travis.
Well, let this be sponsored by Travis's djembe. That way we gift him
this podcast. Travis, one day we're gonna buy you the most awesome djembe.
Hang in there, pal.
Anyways, he was playing guitar with us. He was like secondary. He was lead guitar. Yeah. We had our friend Jordy, who didn't really also play. Georgie, that's right. What did I say, Jordy? Georgie, on bass. Didn't really play the bass, but he was our bro.
He looked cool doing it.
Yeah. He had it like hanging down real low.
He had his hair. Cascader dude, snowboarding guy.
Yep. And we named our band 9-Step Process because me and Travis were sitting in some kind of class at high school, and I looked at the back of the water bottle, and it said, "This water has been taken through a 9-step distillation process," and that's what we called our band. And we played Incubus.
Yeah, dude.
An Incubus.
Was it Wish You Were Here?
Yeah. I wish you were here.
Yeah.
And I used to sing like that, kind of Alanis Morissette style voice. Hi, hi, hi. And then
pretty good.
I had another song that I wrote, and we got second place. You had dreadlocks,
Yep. Dreads.
kind of like Spider.
I feel like Auto Rocket.
That's right. It looked
From,
like Auto Rocket.
What's that show called? What's that show called?
Rocket Power.
Rocket Power.
Yeah.
That was sweet.
That was sweet. All right, so that was the first musical, Joslin musical.
Yeah. Second place.
Second place. Not bad. Not bad. We lost to my girlfriend, who's
Hey.
gone on to be a pretty successful singer,
Pretty
songwriter. And yeah, but from there we were playing sports. I was playing football. You were playing football.
Yeah.
No, hang on. Let's take a minute to talk
I mean,
about.
we could talk about it.
Let's talk about the Joslin brothers keeping the toppers well armed.
Yeah.
That was a newspaper.
It's back to back.
Yeah. I used to throw him. He used to catch him. Standing like this.
dude.
I was taller.
Yeah.
Standing there in the front of the Johnson City Press.
Yeah.
Talking about football. And then some sweet plays happened there.
Pumped, dude. That was
Some
so
sweet
cool.
down to the wire plays. Joslin brother connection.
Dude,
Throwing a foot.
Pause, dude. We are going against Elizabeth in our first game.
He said pause.
After the newspaper release of Brothers
That's
Keep
true.
the
That was first.
Hilltoppers well armed. And I played
Here we
defense the whole game.
Was it tied up?
We were losing.
We were losing. It was
7-3.
7-3.
Fourth quarter.
Fourth
They
quarter.
pinned us on the second yard line.
That's right.
We had 98 yards to go. And I remember moving the ball down a little bit. I wasn't out there. We got to
remember
the
that.
50 or maybe midway, and some people were dropping some passes. And they were like, Justice, go in. It's 4th down, 13. It's raining a little bit. I get in the huddle. Jeffrey's like, calls the play, looks at me and says, I'm throwing it to you. I was like, all right.
It's coming to you.
If I drop it, we lose. If we don't connect, we lose our first game.
Because here's the thing. We've been rehearsing this moment our whole lives.
Oh my gosh.
Literally, I don't mean metaphorically. I mean literally. Over and over. Any type of way. Basketball, football, baseball. It's down to the wire. Here we go.
Here it is.
What are we gonna do? We're about to. And then
Everyone, shh, I'm throwing it to him.
here we go. And then
Just block, baby.
here it's coming to you. First pass. Was it a
14 yards, baby. I took off. It was like a hook or a hitch, 12
Okay.
yards.
Quick
I remember
little-
I went
quick.
farther than I knew I needed to. I was like, I'm not cutting this short. So instead of going 12, I was like, I got to go 14.
You went 14 and cut it back to 10.
12 maybe. He hit me quick in the gut.
And then
Turn, got a couple yards, first down.
nice.
Couple running plays. No. Next play.
Really wasn't
It was
this
the very next play. Back in the huddle. They call this ball. He says, I'm throwing it to you. I said, all right. So I run down the
Here it comes again.
sideline. It was a pretty lucky.
I remember it was a fly route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jumped up and caught it. And when I saw it on film, I was like, I almost stepped out, but luckily I stepped in.
It's close.
Yeah. So we got really close down, to like the 15-yard line or something. And then a couple running plays didn't work. Then the kicker kicked a field goal. Well, it wouldn't have been 7-3 then. It would have been like 7-5.
I think it was like 7-6.
We won by we won by a field goal.
Yeah, we got it down close enough. He kicked
Yeah.
the field goal. Rasmir, the kicker, he said, "How to do it for my guys? How to do it for them?"
Yeah. The cameras came out and it was just like, Justice, how's it feel? I was like, oh man, me and my brother, I love him. He's awesome, dude.
That's
this
right.
is so
I
fun.
know. I know I can do it, my brother. Yeah,
I was pumped,
yeah, it
man.
was sweet. And then down the couple other games, it was like drop back pass, play action.
Yeah.
Justice is going deep.
I'm outta
Throw it as far as I can. That Justice runs.
50-yard bombers.
Full 50-yard bombers, runs under it, catches it.
Anytime
All right, so-
they did it, they just, never understood why they didn't do it more. It was always the thing.
I don't know.
Just let us throw the ball to each other a little bit more. If I can go back in the
I don't know what they were
past.
thinking. Could have won state.
We could have. We had a solid
throw
team,
the
dude.
ball clear out of the mountains over there.
When you were a senior that year, our team
That
was
was good.
stacked.
It was good.
Stacked full of athletes, all kinds of sizes.
Yeah,
super
big
cool
time,
folk.
big time dudes.
Yeah, I was pretty bummed we got beaten. We lost the first round playoff,
Yeah.
and then
We
we got destroyed by Dobbins.
We were
Bennett.
almost undefeated. We won every game except for the last one. Went to playoffs, lost first game.
Yeah.
That was the end of that.
That's all I've ever done.
And then, all right, so I was playing music. You were playing in a ska band.
That's true. After Jeffrey went to college, I think I had to find some new friends that played music. And what I found was a ska band, dude, with their skeeting. Well, not skeeting. What is it called?
Huh?
Their dance they do.
Oh, what do they call that?
Ska. Man, there's a name for it.
Maybe we'll think of it.
Yeah, I like kind of rock and punk, so I just played a bit more of that
Drumming.
style with them, and we played around town to a local coffee shop. They had a built-in crowd. Gosh, what did they do? They would come and do that dance.
It was sweet. All the horn players.
Horn players.
And
Played
then
a little fish.
You played
Didn't
some
know
fish? You played fish? Like PH?
Maybe I'm not thinking of the right person. Big Fish, or like it's a song called Big Fish. I don't know. It's just some ska song.
band.
Can't remember. It's a
Um,
big song in that genre.
so then I was in college. I played football a little bit, and then transferred, did music. You went to play football. You played more football than me. Wofford football. Did you win?
Yeah.
Did you guys won? Like, we made like playoffs, right? Like
2 times. We made the playoffs. We did win a conference once. Got whooped by this team
It's
once
Montana?
on ESPN. That was embarrassing.
or South Dakota or anyways,
We had a good. It was
Then-
a good fun 4 years.
played in Germany,
Then Germany.
Schwäbisch Hall,
Schwäbisch Hall Unicorns.
which that was sweet.
It's the most fun football I've ever done.
Undefeated,
Perfect season.
most touchdown catches in the whole league,
That's right.
in the whole German football league. One of 2 or 3 Americans on the team.
There were 5 of us. 6
The Unicorns. Did you already say that?
I did, but we could say it again.
Say it again. I mean, how many teams out there called the Unicorns? There's now a
they're
documentary about that. Or
I
that
wish
team.
I knew.
Unicorns.
Wish I knew
what's
how
it
to
called?
find it. You type in
Unicorns Town. Unicorn Town?
Unicorn Town. That sounds good. It was awesome. It's a magical time.
I'm just going to make sure this is still recording as always. I probably should just turn that around and make sure that way I can keep a look at it.
All right, so
All right, so you're over there
won the
playing in Germany.
championship.
Me and Dad go over there.
I haven't seen you guys in
It's-
like 8 months.
Yeah, it's a bowl. I think, yeah, it's a bowl, a German bowl.
Yeah, German Bowl.
We go over there. We ride a train from Schwäbisch Hall to Magdeburg with all the Germans.
Dude.
I'm pretty famous because
Sure, there's a mix of folk in there.
because I am the Bruder of Justice Joslin, and with my father of Justice Joslin, and he's big time, and so therefore I'm big time, and we had a blast riding this train 8 hours to the game with all the townspeople, and then we get down there, it comes down to the wire, and.
Wait, before
Okay.
the game even started, I remember seeing them. They show up and their face is all green
That's right.
and all decked out. It's just like they've been drinking a lot of beer on the train ride.
Yeah, those Germans
Get pumped.
kept handing them to me.
Yeah,
And
get
then they would make fun of me if I said no more. They're like, "Oh, come on!" I was like, "Guys, you're German. I'm an American. I can't keep up with you guys." So we get there. Yeah, we were in good spirits
Yeah. That was
and painted green.
Yeah.
Just best friends with the whole town.
cool.
De
Dude, they
Bruder
never
and
sat
Vater.
down. The whole crowd never sat down.
Yeah.
And they had this
It was-
huge banner I always wondered, just people were hanging out underneath it, like not watching the game, because it covered.
Huge banner.
Remember that? Or maybe you weren't under it.
People holding it up.
Yeah, it's huge. Maybe they just did it for a moment, but
Maybe.
like I've always been curious, how long did they hold it up? Because if you're in the middle of that thing, you're just under this. I mean, it was like 100 by 100 feet or something.
Nice. Gets down to the wire. Did you do something at the end or knock a pass down?
David
Knocked it down.
he was playing safety or corner, I think.
Yeah, the other team threw it. Could have.
There's a wide open guy. We're at 48-44, last seconds, and here comes David, runs over, smacks it out of the air, and we win. I remember I ran out, didn't know where to go. My buddy Bruno, he was running out, didn't know where to go. And we were both like having panic attacks, and we just ran into each other's arms and just started jumping. I've never been so excited in my life.
Dude,
I've never
amazing.
felt that kind of adrenaline.
It was amazing.
Wild.
And then we all rode back on the train
Oh, yeah.
with the whole town after winning and partied all the way back till the break of dawn. I just remember driving through the German countryside, as the sun was coming up, pulling back into the town. It was amazing with all my new German friends.
Oh, 2 discotheques, right? So you're dancing
That's
on
right.
this end of the train, that end of the train.
We're just going from one end to
If
the
you
other.
choose to drink, you could drink your brains out. And it was hot, sweaty, and
No brains
And I
left.
just passed Dad, just like resting on the floor,
Yep.
just chilling. And then every room, something was going on, a conversation, hanging out with people on a train. I've just never had that kind of experience before.
No.
We were moving,
Yeah, it was sweet.
partying on a train. Yeah.
Yep, so that was that. And then you were doing combines, trying out for the NFL,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
I had to fulfill my destiny.
I was in Atlanta. Well, you were fast.
I was fast.
Running 4.2 something 40s.
Well, let's not say that.
Benching
Definitely
429,
429 on a hand clock. But when I went to the combine, I
Pulling
did a
hammies.
4.4, a 4.4 at a hand clock, and then actually a laser times 4.5. But
Okay.
I wasn't doing very good at that time.
Pulling hammies.
Yeah.
So I was in Atlanta. We were getting that surf life was kind of
Surf?
That surf life.
Wait,
Was,
surf life in Atlanta.
I'm just saying, you were surfing a little bit, traveling with Joey. I met up with you one time. We went surfing in Sebastian Inlet, I think. It was freezing, middle of winter.
Oh.
Me, you, and Joey. That's our cousin. And I couldn't really surf. You guys were probably surfing pretty good, but I was getting tossed around, and it was freezing, and I had a splitting headache.
Oh, yeah.
And
There wasn't really any
we
waves.
blew a fuse in the van trying to cook some hot dogs on a George Foreman grill. And then
That's right. I forgot about
at
that.
some point,
We watched Weeds a lot. Was that with you? We just laid in that van and watched Weeds.
yeah. And so then at some point, we used to have conversations. You went out to California some, doing stuff.
Yeah, I drove across with a couple of friends to check it out.
Yeah, and you were already
Once or
feeling
twice,
it.
maybe?
It was sweet. I went out there to visit a friend, so it must have been floating around. And so, at some point, I'm like, dude, I'm going. It's time. I'm going. Are you coming with me or not? And you were kind of, I don't know, on the fence. And then
You're on the
we were at
road?
Mama and Papaw's house, huh?
Ah,
We were at Mama and Papaw's house, and I remember one morning you woke up and something happened. There was like a Bible story about Jacob and Esau.
I just opened it up.
And
Just opened
which,
it up
of course,
and it was like, oh,
Jacob and Esau is about 2 brothers. One of them is older. One of them's younger. I don't remember what.
I don't even remember the context. I probably only read the first sentence, and I was like, okay.
You just had to do with 2 brothers.
It just said 2 brothers, and so I was like, well, that's enough.
All
That's
right.
enough for me.
That's enough for me.
Just needed a little push.
So I
Dang, I packed it up right there and then.
don't know if I was right there and then. I just remember that we were talking about it. And I went back to Atlanta, got my Forerunner packed. You got your stuff together. I came up through Mama's and Papaw's house. And then you put your stuff in and we hit the road. And all of those videos are somewhere. We made the most ridiculous videos all the way across.
Yeah, we did.
Slept. I probably drove.
You drove the whole way.
You
wouldn't
drove
let me
some.
drive. There was a moment, and you said you can't sleep because when you're sleeping, you feel like you're falling asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
And so you said, I might as well drive. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's fine with me. And then you just stayed up and drove.
Yep. I was smoking cigarettes and drinking double shots all the way.
Yeah, I was just chilling.
And we're just
I'll
jamming.
Be checking on you. You good? A lot of music.
A lot of music.
A lot of laughing.
And then we get all the way there. Well, I had I had been talking to this lady, this company called Westside Rentals. I found a place in Manhattan Beach. She was like very specific. He was like, "Oh yeah, your roommate's a beach volleyball player. You know, it's this, $500 a month. Da, 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 da. Great, sounds good. I'll call you when I'm on my way out there."
Yeah.
I'll call her when I'm on the way. No answer. It's like, well, I'll try again later. Couple days, try again. No answer. It's like, I'm sure it's fine. So we get all the way out there. The plan was to be there for by New Year's Day, January 1st, 2012. So we get there New Year's Eve. We are gonna go out in LA on New Year's Eve. We get there. We stay at Douglas's place.
Stay at his place.
We're just lay down for a second, and then we'll get up and we'll go out. I haven't slept in probably 24 hours.
Oh yeah.
Lay in the bed. We're just lay down for a minute.
Get some energy out.
Yeah. And we were
'Cause we're gonna celebrate. We
knocked
made it.
out. Yeah, we made it to LA. We're going out
Yep.
New Year's Eve in LA. We just stayed right near off like Sunset Beach, Hollywood.
Yeah.
And next thing we knew, we both woke up. It was past New Year's.
Yeah.
And Justice was like, "Hey, thumb one of those pillows and turn off the light." We're going back to sleep. And that was our New Year's.
I think we said Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's, brother. I'm going back to sleep.
Let me a couple of those pillows.
Yep. And then next day, we're like, we'll go find our house. Okay, here's what it was. The lady still wasn't answering. Kelly was supposedly her name. Still wasn't answering. But somehow I had a picture that was on the Westside Rentals post. It's Manhattan Beach. I was like, well, we'll go down to Manhattan Beach, see if we can find the place.
Mm-hmm. We had that picture there's a van by a tree.
And actually, I think we did try to find the place on New Year's Eve. Couldn't find it.
And
So
we tried at night.
then we went up to Douglas's and fell asleep.
Wow.
Next day, we go down. We drive up and down every street. And there it was. There was the place with the thing out front. Knock on the door. Some guy answers it. It's like, "Hey, we're here." Kelly said we could rent this place.
Pumped.
And he's like, "I don't know anybody named Kelly." We're like, "All right, well, see you later."
And I was just waiting in the car. Jeffrey comes right back. Nope.
Nope. So we were like,
just
well,
drove out
let's
to
go
California.
down. We just drove all the way to California and then no place to live. So we
On
went
a
down.
tight budget.
Pretty tight budget. Yeah. Luckily, I had a job lined up.
Yeah.
At Guitar Center.
We had to find a spot before you went to work.
That's right. And so we went down to the Manhattan Beach Pier. We're just looking out
People
at the
surfing.
water,
Dude,
trying
this
to
looks
figure
cool.
out what we're going to do.
We made it.
There was a big shark thing that was like, there's not a lot of sharks here in Manhattan Beach because there's not a lot of seals. And the only place I ever heard about shark attacks my whole time in LA was in Manhattan Beach. So we went down, stayed with some friends, ended up finding this place in Redondo Beach, California, 575.
Oh,
This place that later
practically begged him.
begged them. They were like, well, if
Walking
you can go
distance
down,
beach.
if you can go get me some paperwork before these other people do, I'll give it to you. So we went to the FedEx or whatever, made some copies, came back, got it, boom.
Locked it in. I mean, that room was
Found a bed on the side of the road.
smaller than this room.
Yeah, it was a single room, very small. A single room, a closet, and a bathroom. Shouldn't even have been rented. This is unheard of in LA.
This next
I think
part
it was
always
probably-
bothers me.
Next part.
You're going to mention the mattresses we found on the side of the road.
I don't remember mattresses we found. Did we find a mattress? I remember it was a bed frame.
No, I remember sleeping on a mattress I found inside on the road.
What?
I know. I'm not sure what would have went.
I
through
mean, it was a
my head.
nice place though. That was a nice area. But we found
I mean,
mattresses and a bed
helps.
frame, and we're like, well, we got to build a bunk bed.
I covered the mattress, with something to
Something.
sleep on at least.
And then
Yeah, we got to build a bunk bed.
Yeah,
Right.
so we went to Home Depot. I bought a drill, which I couldn't afford. It's like, well, I'm still using that. No, it was a different
I don't
drill.
think we had any plans for the bunk bed. We were just like, here, let's
We have
just,
to build
I think
it.
if we just buy this kind of wood, we'll build it.
Yeah, and it creaked and shook from
And
the
we had
moment
to
we
use,
built it.
We had some rope that was kind of holding it still against the wall because it was leaning.
Yeah, and that
And
was
we'd
that.
sleep under it. Someone would.
Somebody was on top. Somebody was on the bottom. And that was our place. But it was like a block off the beach
Oh, man.
with the sickest view. I mean, it was like this like cliffs, quintessential California cliffs, sweet beach, surf spot, skate spot.
Yeah. I remember the first day we were there, we walked down to the beach and I just lefts after lefts. There's like a point break there off the rock. There are these beach breaks happening here. Actually, it was like this beach break and then this reef break and then this kind of reef point break, all kind of going left. And I like left. So at the time I did. This is the best surfing spot I've ever seen, and we're going to live walking
right down the road.
I was so excited.
Yep, and we were like, let's get our skateboards and go on an adventure.
Oh, man.
And so we got our skateboards.
Jeez, yeah, I remember that.
And just started exploring the area. Found this sweet little path, road down, curve,
Yeah.
go up, and found this sweet overlook. This is probably where you're talking about, where the cove is. Awesome surf break. Just, I mean, the most amazing thing. And then we were like, well, we got to go back now. And the uphill became the downhill.
We climbed up these. We were at the beach, sea level, and then all of a sudden we're just up on these cliffs. Like, dude, this
Sweet.
is down the street, and now we thought we would ride down these roads.
We had to get back.
at night.
Had to get back.
It's like
and the
evening, right? It's like turning dark.
Yeah, and the road in which we went up, where there was a big wide gap where people parked next to their sweet hillside California houses. Well, they were now home, and they were parked,
Yeah, dude.
and there was no longer a big gap there, and now there was cars coming the other direction, and we were bombing this hill, and we got the wobbles.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you can't get off.
No,
Can't jump off.
you're
at
going
this
too
point.
fast. No,
Cars right here.
you probably
Cars come in this way, and you've got a couple feet of space. Don't
Yeah.
hit the mirror.
between the parked car
Yeah.
and the car coming your way, and you're bombing a hill.
And if there's nothing to go this way, no one's got yard. That's like
No. You would have to make a hard.
they're like fences and like because the houses are kind of off on a cliff and they're
Yeah.
protected from trees and the sidewalk.
It's-
Not even a sidewalk.
It's a pretty dire situation.
Dude, I locked it in.
Yeah,
I remember
Justice is
thinking, I
ripping.
hope
Justice, he's
Jeffrey
fine with this sort of
will be
thing.
good.
Me,
I was
you
so
know, not
nervous,
so much.
dude.
he figured he was going to turn around, see me splatted on somebody's windshield. But I just kept it together. Somehow I was just praying all the way down. Please don't let me go this way.
Hang on tight, like
Just
commit.
as like, yeah, you just got to own it. Just like, whoa,
Commit.
you focus in, clear the mechanism.
Boom. Yeah,
And-
that once it snap in there, it's like I'm good, but I'm still
you
scared.
got the wobbles going, and then you make it down the bottom, and then it smooths out and slows down. And when we got to the bottom, we're like, whoa,
Yeah,
oh my
dude.
gosh.
I remember trying to figure out how to jump off.
Yeah.
Like, where's a yard? Nope, can't do that.
No, you gotta ride it out. It's a big hill.
Dude,
It's a
we
big
got
hill.
pumped, man.
So that was our new
Welcome
home.
to California, you cool guys.
Couple of kooks.
Auto rockets arrived.
So auto rockets. So I was working at Guitar Center. Justice was doing
Nothing.
nothing.
That's not true.
They were doing
I was
tryouts,
trying
working out.
really hard to motivate
Football.
myself on a daily to work out very hard to keep up my cardio, run routes, sprint, just maintain a football, ability because I was hoping a team would pick me up. I had
Just
an
figured.
agent. Yeah.
Just
I
figured.
thought maybe there was some conversation around maybe having him come or if this guy's not there, if someone gets hurt, just wanted an opportunity. Didn't get it.
Yep. And there was one time where you finished a combine, did really good,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and I was like, let's go out and get some steaks.
I remember that. I went down to San Diego. I had to let's see. I wanted to qualify for this combine, which you do the first combine of like the best 500 or the 500 you probably know about. And then there's like the next best.
Oh, that's right. You made it to the,
And we did at Detroit Lions Stadium. And for me, because I wasn't just coming out of college, I had to try out for it. So there was a tryout. I was so nervous.
I'm sure.
I was listening to Coldplay. What's that album that's just like super pumped? XL
Xylomyloto.
Yeah, I was just
that's a sweet one.
Get in the zone. Went and introduced myself to some of the people, like, thanks for being here, like some of the scouts. I was like, that goes a long way. But I killed it there, dude. I rocked it. They interviewed me after. You know, I say it's because my skill set, but it's probably just because, well, they wanted to use me for marketing their little project, you know. So, sweet. So I got invited. So I got ranked a pretty high number for, like, this guy's ranked like 96 something, meaning like this guy, check this guy out, you know. So I got invited to Detroit. And that just felt like, you know, I went to the first day, I was like in a room full of scouts in these like little tights, little tiny shorts, just like stand in front of them, put your arms out. Let's see how long your hands are, your fingers. Like this. How much do you weigh? What's your arm length? Measuring things. Like, dude, this is weird. You know? And then the next day we did the big tryout, and I don't know, dude, I was okay. I did okay, but not that great.
Well, either way, came back from that, and I was like, let's go celebrate. Let's go get some steaks that I can't afford.
Yeah. Let's get some steaks. That's the sweet spot down the road.
Yeah, it was cool.
What was that spot?
I don't remember what it was called, but I remember.
It was like grandfather's.
It was real vibey. Real vibey spot.
Yeah, it was an antique-y, old
local Redondo.
Shorter ceilings.
Yeah.
Kind of felt like you were in like
bit of a shit.
A couple mafias probably hanging out in the corner having a fatty ribeye, you know. And tables, super round, white cloth. Where are we in this story?
Well, just eating juicy steaks.
Juicy steaks.
All right, so then
that's football.
Yeah,
nobody cares. You know.
Yeah, at some point, it's just like that was just done. All right, enter.
Oh no.
Dad.
Enter Dad. Sleep on the floor.
All right, so if our apartment wasn't small enough to begin with, we decided to add one other grown man.
Yep, our father.
Our dad, who was in the acting industry.
Yeah, Dad hopped in this industry.
He was in the acting industry later in life. He was acting. He was modeling. He was in New York. He was in Atlanta. He was doing stuff. He hadn't done the L.A. thing. So he was like, shoot, come on out, man. We're out here. Come on out, Dad.
First, and it was you, Sean, and remember, was Sean living there? Somebody else was living there before I came out there.
Sean?
Because I went to the second combine, and then I flew back out because the voice.
I mean, he might have. Ooh, that's right.
And that's when I entered back into California because I left California. I went to do this after we celebrated the steaks. I flew out of there to train in Knoxville for the big combine.
That's right. Okay.
And then you landed the voice. They flew us out, so they got my ticket. And I came back out to California that summer, 2012.
Right.
And boom, entering.
So Dad is modeling, acting, gets us into it. So I'm doing commercial auditions, modeling auditions. Justice gets into it. I remember you got an ASICS commercial.
Yeah,
running.
Yeah, I remember Dad saying y'all gotta meet. Dad had an agent out there, our agency, and so we talked to them about doing some commercials.
Yeah.
And I remember we just did audition after audition after audition.
Just doing the thing, getting rejected.
Yeah, then
actually not so bad. We got some stuff. I was in a.
It was like the first 15 auditions we both landed.
What was that? I was in a commercial Bud Light or something for the Olympics. Jay-Z something, and then you were in ASICS.
Make sure you hold that close to your
butt. These are high definition burps. And then next thing you knew, you were connected with Al somehow, modeling this, modeling that, model. Time for the big dogs. And then the NFL thing
went away.
Bye. Hello, modeling world. Also, music. Hello, music. Big time. We were playing after The Voice, we were playing down at a place called Terranea. Justice had a sweet setup, djembe. Travis's djembe.
Buzzed by Travis's djembe.
With the tambourine cymbal. And I had a little acoustic thing and a mic. Had a little setup. We're playing at this sweet resort down the road.
Oh, so sweet.
We're getting free.
Best burgers I've ever had.
Oh, free burgers. Free. They would do these like dipped Rice Krispie dessert bar things.
I forgot about
It was
those.
like 3-hour gigs at this sweet resort. Just right on the water. Playing those. And then also started to play on the street a little bit in Venice. A little bit, I think. Just playing, just doing some gigs. And then I started working with an artist from Australia. I got a studio up in Koreatown. I started staying up there. I was in a crazy relationship. You were living down at the place in Redondo.
Just me. You guys.
Yeah.
You guys were living somewhere else.
Dad found a chick. He was staying up in Sherman Oaks.
Dad found a chick.
Dad found a chick.
He had a house.
He had a house up there.
Yeah.
I was in Koreatown at my studio, and you were down in Redondo, and you caught the place on fire.
Whoa. First of all, no one knows what happened.
No one else.
So
Disclaimer. For legal
he doesn't
purposes.
actually know. I don't actually
We don't
know.
actually
No one
know.
actually knows what
All
happened.
we know is that you were gone, and while you were gone,
Yep.
flames were coming out the window, and the neighbors were like watching out the window, wondering what the heck was going on.
I get a message. My phone happened to not take calls. I could only see text messages, so I said Al, who's manages me in my business, and he said via text, "Your house is on fire." And I can't call him. I can't respond, and I'm in some airport in Europe, and I got to figure out how to make a call in the airport to figure out what that means. I find out it's on fire. And Jeffrey told Al it's on fire. I was like, okay, I got to go do another job right now, so I can't be back till next week.
Yeah, I went down there to check on it for Al and Justice, and just looked in. The whole bathroom was torched. The closet was torched. The main room up was all right, but seemed to be pretty well confined to the bathroom.
Yeah. And then saw some videos, came back.
You got another
Gathered
place?
some things and got a place as fast as possible. I put a 1-year deposit down. I didn't want that area talking about the guy who burns people's houses down because that was my place. However it happened, I'm not sure, but it was the place I was living.
Then you got a sweet spot.
That was sweet. That was I could see the ocean out of every one of my windows, and that's my view. The sunset, and I thought to myself, I've made it.
Right about this time, Jared, our cousin, who came first, Jared or Javen?
Oh, that's a hard question. I want to say
I think Jared.
Jared might have.
I think Jared. So Jared is our cousin who we used to jam with, great musician, and the three of us get together and just jam for days. We all like the same music.
Just get locked in.
Yeah, we would go
family,
out.
music, language. It's the coolest world ever.
Yeah, and so he was like the other part. And the coolest part about all this is when I went out to, maybe not the coolest, a cool part. When I went to California, I went out there because I grew up listening to the Beach Boys. And I just wanted the full Beach Boy experience. And the Beach Boys are comprised of brothers and cousins who made music together and went and surfed together. I don't even know if they surfed. They might not even surf. They sang about surfing, but they lived not too far from where we lived. And, we ended up making music with our brothers and our cousins in really cool ways. And I just think that's so cool.
That is cool.
Anyways, Jared comes out.
Yeah.
We're doing some pretty hefty jam times. A lot of jamming. A lot of music, and Justice got his place on the beach down there. Jared's in Venice Beach. At the time...
Was that Javen's place?
Well, eventually Javen was out there, and Jared was out there, too.
They were living together.
Yeah, I don't know the order that it happened.
I got to figure that out. I wish we could just make a phone call. Phone a friend.
Phone a friend.
Help us
I
out.
think... whatever. Javen and Jared, our brother and our cousin, and Justice's friend, all living in Venice Beach.
Yeah, he moved out there.
This is right about the time that relationship that I was in fell apart. My car dies. I got nowhere to live. I got no car. Ended up sleeping at Javen and Jared's place. Actually, maybe it was Javen and Andrew, and then Jared came out later. Doesn't matter. At some point, that's when I met my wife. I ended up living in Venice, and that's when some serious jams started happening, and we started feeling the need for I think what happened, Javen came, Javen started introducing us to these LA. Javen's like some sort of a crazy magnet guy who just finds himself in friendships and in interesting places, and then introduces us to these people who he meets as he's just out there in the wild LA nightlife, meeting people, and then he connects us with Lucas. And so we go up to Lucas's spot. Yeah. Lucas had a jam spot. The whole place was filled with instruments. Any hour of the day or night we could jam.
Yeah, and so there's a sub hooked up to the kick. I was like, yeah, dude.
I think Justice was kind of out of town a lot, so it was like Jared and I.
Yeah, I jammed with Lucas once.
Yeah. We were in a band.
Like, oh man, we want to play music, and I said, Lucas, this is awesome, but I travel so much.
Yep.
I can't do it.
And so Jared and I joined their band, the Tonewoods.
Oh, right.
Jared on the drums, me on the bass. I was living like this a completely different fantasy of mine in which I'm just a member of a band that just shows up. I don't have to be the front man. I'm just back there with my sunglasses on playing the bass. Yeah. And by the time Justice gets back in town, me and Jared, we're in a sweet band playing all the time in LA. We're like, Justice, dude, this is what's going on.
I'm missing out.
And then at some point, Justice gets a new place.
Oh, yeah.
Jared moves into that new place.
My landlord said, you have too many parties and your neighbors don't like that they're not invited. And I thought to myself, well,
I don't have any parties.
I never throw parties. And I'm pretty sure it's just Javen.
Yeah.
And I think he's told me that. He would have people over. I mean, I don't know the extent of that, but there's some fun stories with Javen. And he said, you belong in Hermosa Beach. He wasn't mean about it, but he just thought, they like the party up there. And people were complaining about my 78 Volkswagen bus and the 65 Falcon, which looked awesome.
Yeah, they're sweet.
Sitting out by the main road where the beach was.
If you want to see it in action, check out my Come Out West music video.
That's true. That's it. That's the best it's looked. I got to get it back into that shape. And then some lady just, I paid too much money to be looking at those cars. And I thought, what? What are you talking about?
What a bunch of weirdos.
Great. So maybe it wasn't my kind of vibe. So I found a house up the street, the furthest I've been away from the beach, but you could still walk it. Actually, you could skate down the street and hold a towel if the wind was right, actually away from it, and it's a steep hill all over the beach, but it would create a resistance so you could cruise and slow yourself down. That was sweet.
That's awesome. I didn't know that was happening.
And then that's when they had a pool house, had a pool, which was like, all right, we're getting fancy now. Jared said he'd get the house with me. So
we need to tell two key aspects to prime this.
Prime it.
Prime the skip room.
Yeah.
Our grandfather.
We haven't said the name yet.
So. Grandfather was nicknamed Skipper. He was in the military. He was a sailor. He had this sweet basement growing up. It had wood panels on the walls, some kind of dark shag carpeting, and real cool sailing stuff all around. Caffeine-free Diet Cokes right back behind the bar. You could go grab. And then also like a cool storage area you could go through, which is like chock full of like sweet vintagey things we had no idea. But there was a vibe. There was a vibe.
Smell.
Vibe and a smell. Mm-hmm. Just like sweet, cool, awesome, vibey.
I'd like to go
dimly
back to
lit.
that house and see if they let me in the basement.
Knock on the door. It's like a place in Manhattan. Can I smell your basement? I need to smell your basement.
My grandpa.
Part two, our friends from high school I guess I could say their names. I don't know, ourselves. They had a sick, vibey house, all wood, dimly lit, lit with the lamps as such in the corner. It was just a vibe that we came to enjoy. So here we are, ready to jam our lives away, but we are getting on people's nerves, and we can't. Our neighbors are complaining, so he's like, all right.
What's his name, Bob?
I think it's Bob.
Remind me of Papaw.
Yeah.
Just right there next to our house.
There's a fence, and you can just walk right up and talk.
Walk out of the door next to the kitchen the kitchen. You got 2 feet, wall to the chest, Bill.
These are like
standing right there.
Yeah, retired older folks living in a California paradise next door to some young bucks that just moved in and not trying to hear some loud music. So we're like, all right, what do we do? Well, what did you do?
Well, in
built
that
a box.
pool house, it was an empty room.
Yeah. I think it was somebody's photo studio.
Yeah. And Jared did a lot of research on how we could soundproof this baby. And so we looked up every possible way to do that, and we did it.
Yep.
From building, obviously, a room within a room.
Framed it out, double
staggered
drywall.
the studs.
Monkey glue or whatever, Gorilla
Use
glue.
Gorilla
in between
glue, the thickest drywall, then Gorilla glue. Not even before that, these little sound spacers on the studs.
Yeah.
Then drywall, then glue, then drywall.
Yeah.
Then a really cool wallpaper, and then some wood, and depending on where.
Yeah. But super vibey.
Yeah.
And
so you just do a sliding door, and you just see drywall box.
Yeah. Enter into a world in which time had no relevance.
No.
But also, our friend Lucas was into analog gear. I was a big recording guy. Spent a lot of time recording. Justice didn't really care that much for recording.
No, not
at that point.
No, I didn't even think twice about it.
But here comes Lucas talking to us about some analog recording. Gets Justice all into it.
Yeah,
he gets a Tascam 388 and stores it there. It was his, right?
He said, I got a tape machine. I said, I'll build the room. And
okay.
So when the room is built, here comes the Tascam. Here comes a couple tape machines from Lucas.
Yep. And so we got a box, soundproof box, a tape machine, and 3 jamming dudes that all they want to do is jam all the time, play music.
Yeah.
And then our other brother who's out finding us the coolest, craziest musicians in LA and sending them on down.
Yeah.
And we would just go in there, put on a tape, and just make stuff up.
Yeah.
Jam and make stuff up.
How's it?
Miko on
Miko
bass.
come down. We just sit there and jam.
Miko's dad was an actor, pretty well-known actor, Edward James Olmos. And Miko. Sick. I put an ad on Craigslist for a bass player. Was this after the homeless guy?
Oh, well, that's fun. So let's start
It's got to be after the homeless guy because that's when we were practicing at Jared's.
Yeah, let's go ahead and see this.
All right, here's the story. So we didn't have a bass player. Me and Justice and Jared. Jared on drums. Me on
keys?
Guitar. Justice on keys.
Weird, I was playing keys. Why did I play bass?
I don't know. And then it's like we need a bass player. One night in Venice Beach, I'm walking down the road, and serendipitously I hear someone say something about playing bass. I'm like, there you go. The universe handed it to me on a silver platter.
The thine eyes.
Thine eyes. And then I walked up to him and I was like, hey, did I hear you say? He looked like a musician guy. Did I hear you say you play bass? He's like, yeah, I play a few things. I was like, sweet. We're looking for a bass player if you want to come by,
Come to the stew.
Come to the stew. At this point, it wasn't the box. It was just the apartment in Venice Beach. Jared is basically like a gaming room with a giant projector wall. The whole wall was like a TV. And then a small drum set in the corner. And, so we had a rehearsal. Guy came. In the meantime, while in between, he's texting me like, do you have a bass? I can use. My stuff's in storage. I'm just in between spots. I was like, yeah, no problem. Got a bass. Comes time for rehearsal. The guy shows up. I got the bass ready. I got the amp ready, plugged in. Just grab it. We'll do this tune. It's really easy, just 3 notes you'll have to play. No problem. Sounds good. Plug in, ready to go. Prior to this, we had a conversation about, well, what do we do if the guy sucks? Well, then we'll do a signal, and the signal will be... And so picks up his bass, seems to be kind of fiddling around, ready to go. All right, here we go. Kick into the song, and he proceeds to play something that I've never heard anyone try to play on a bass. Nothing.
Oh, do you remember the song we were playing?
Yeah, it's What's Right With You. Three notes. That's all. It's just 3 notes of 1.
Jared's
and then
over
a
here.
6.
Jeffrey's
and
here.
then a 5.
My back's turned, so.
Yeah, Jared's in the corner. I'm
can't
here.
see him.
Justice
Thank
over
goodness.
there. He's here to my right. Starts playing something that in all my years of music, I would never imagine someone trying to play on bass. Nothing in the realm of bass or guitar. Really high up, really crazy. And
I hope he's gotten better since, or
so
life is good for him.
we all are avoiding looking at each other so we don't lose it. Some point, I catch Jared's eye looking at me, and I'm going like this.
I kind of glanced over at Jared, and we, then
I'm like, well, I'm the one. Yeah, I'm the one that invited the guys. So I got to shut this down. There's no way. Like, this is,
we got a serious rehearsal.
I was like, hey. Yeah. This is not going to work. Sorry, man. Thanks for coming. He was like, yeah, cool. No problem. Set the bass down. And he was like, do you guys happen to know of any places to live around here? They're like, no. Sorry. Or no, wait, we might have said something. Like, I don't know. Try to be nice.
Maybe gave him some assistance.
And that was that. He left. And that was the time in which I think I might have, did a rehearsal with a homeless guy who couldn't play bass at all.
You can't
just
hate
go
on
by.
the attempt. Trying to, you
never know. Could have been.
Space rock and roll dreams may have ended that day.
So then I put an ad on Craigslist. And that's how I found Miko. I mean, it couldn't have been more exactly what I put on Craigslist. I'm like, bass player who likes James Jamerson, also Pino Palladino, Pino Palladino, Pino Palladino. This style. I mean, and then here comes Miko. Yeah. Dirty bass player, super cool dude.
Yeah.
His dad used to hang out with the Eagles and like Jackson Brown, all that sort of stuff. Had a great time. But he was our other brother from another mother, and we would just jam in this box.
Yep. All the time.
And then through that, yeah,
he was in Venice at the time.
Through that,
we were in Redondo Beach.
Yeah. Through that, you got really into.
I
analog.
would just what would I do through the day? Then go in.
Yeah, you had a lot of downtime.
Go into the room. I would lock the door. I loved just disappearing into this space that didn't have windows. It was always just the whatever vibe was the lighting, and start just recording stuff, miking instruments, playing. I can play instruments, so I was just like, all right, what does it sound like when I play instruments with myself and record them? Not really thinking too much about it, just like whatever. Let's see what this tape machine's all about. And I got really obsessed with it.
Yep.
And all the sounds, and then ended up wanting to mix. I mixed all these sounds together to a stereo reel to reel, and then ended up making a record from that because I got so into just the analog sound.
You got a vinyl record.
Keep the analog vinyls alive because
it's pretty interesting approach, that record too. It's just it's kind of like an ongoing song kind of thing. Like you just jammed and then went back and jammed on top of that and then made songs on top of that.
Yeah, it was super fun because I would do some type of beat or click or something that would keep me going on the drums. I'd jam with it. Sometimes I'd use that little drum click in the songs, but I would just jam for 15 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever, and do whatever I wanted to do with the mindset of I'm going to be jamming with my future self. So kind of have an idea. And then I would pop on another instrument, and then I would do one take until I thought ooh, that felt good. You know, like I felt
Yeah.
like I got lost in that take. Like, sweet, let's leave that. And I was supposed to leave it even if I didn't think it was perfect. That was kind of the agreement I was making. It's just like, doesn't matter. It's just like about how you feel.
Right.
And then eventually I was like, oh, I'm going to just compile all these songs. Because then at the end of, like, I put a bunch of instruments together, I would sing.
Whoa.
I would sing on top of it. And just see what it's like to sing. I just never really, I was in a choir when I was a kid, I think. But I don't remember actually singing. I was just kind of faking it. I'd sing maybe a little bit.
Well, you did.
So,
Your approach to music was different than mine in that I went to school for it. I studied. I knew all the cookie cutter commercial ways you chop, edit, all the stuff to make it perfect pop commercial music. And you were like, dude, let's just make some music that feels good with a vibe on analog tape, which you can't really cut up. I mean, you can, but it's not really practical. It was just all about feel and vibe and cut loose and spontaneous, and it was like a completely different way for me to make music. That was, it was like once you kind of go there, it's hard to go back because it's like it sounds a certain way. There's a vibe. There's like, I don't know. It's warm. It's dirty, messy.
yeah.
Tape hiss. It's just distortion. Just kind of like it just is what it is. But it's like about the feel, about the feeling, about the emotion.
I liked all the sounds that all the machines made. It just gave it character.
It's sweet.
It's like even
Cool buttons, cool knobs, cool colors, cool design.
if there's a little hair, a little dirt in that knob, you may get one signal. It just gives a little crunch.
It's got the hair crunch, dude. Crunchy hair.
Yeah, you can't mimic my hair crunch.
So then I think you started playing drums with Lucas in his band. Is that right? Or no?
Well,
or was it just Jared?
Jared.
That's right.
Jared and Lucas did a 2-piece thing, drums, and then Lucas is the lead. And then Lucas called me one day. He said, "Will you be our bass player?" And I said, "Lucas, I cannot wait." Because I remember going to their show and standing in front of him at a show and just like, all right, dude, let's see what this is rock and roll's all about. And I was grooving. I was just like dialed in with Lucas's just whatever he was doing. He was feeling it, just his energy or his efforts on stage. I just wanted to match, and I felt like, I felt so good after. And I thought, yeah, man, I'm going to play some music with this guy. So that started me into just what it's like to put a lot of effort and emotion into music on stage with a group of other people who want to do that too. And that just grew.
Just freaking rock and roll, just playing the LA rock club scene, all the cool
we played
spots.
Nobody once.
0.
Yeah.
Nice.
I remember.
That's part of it's like a rite of passage, just part of like in music.
We had
like,
a blast.
We
just played for each other.
You have to play to the walls at some point.
It's like such a good show too. It's so funny. It's like, dude, that show just went for us in this basement. Nobody here. We were so bad at getting the crowd.
And then
then you got on bass. No, you got bass, and I got on drums. We played the Harvell show.
I guess I did play bass for a minute.
Yeah, because Jared was done.
That's right. I did play. Yeah, I did play bass a little. That was fun. And then some point, you bought this other house.
Well, okay, so that Skipper Room became
that was
place,
Skipper Room Part 1.
That place was like my little brother. I don't know how he would convince people from Hollywood, 45 minutes to an hour, to drive to my house.
Javen was
to
like
walk to the back. It's dark. I probably had the pool lit. I probably had it looking kind of sexy.
I mean, it's a sweet part of
And then
town.
they do a sliding door and then walk into this room. And some people would walk in. Jules specifically, it was the first time he walked in. The first time I met him was just like, "Hey, man, I'm Justice. What do you want to do?" And he said, "I want to sing." And I thought, "Oh, that's bold. No one's coming here and wanting to sing because it's going to roll like a 30-minute tape and it's already mic'd, got headphones, and everyone just walks in, puts it on. We just push the record button.
Whatever comes."
And that was the first time I couldn't see Jules. I had some like thing rigged where it was a little quieter from the drums, and I could just hear him in my headphones. And it's just like this vocal for 20 minutes that just like went all over the place, and he sounded terrific and had all these kind of characters, and I was like, ooh, I like this guy.
Like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah,
or
just like
something
talented
crazy,
guy,
yeah.
and just like can just improv and it sounds good, you know. And like with your voice, that's a cool thing. So things like that would happen in that room, and so eventually
Well, there's just
Jared
like
was
the people that would come down were just like top notch. Not only top notch, but like characters, like
yeah, they were cool.
one of a kind.
Like Javen
Almost,
knew.
yeah. Javen has this secret sauce to like find the golden nuggets of not like who's the coolest LA. I mean, not to say they're
I think
all
they're the
cool,
coolest.
but not in the way that LA people would have.
for
They're
sure.
just like the diamonds in the rough.
Literally,
Diamond, dude named Diamond, and they would just come down, and it would just blow our minds of just like, well,
yeah.
these are like all of our favorite 60s, 70s artists like reincarnated. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was like, I can't believe this talent is coming here and they're enjoying this with me on my tape machine, and it sounds great. And
they were getting an experience that they weren't getting in LA.
Oh, yeah.
LA was doing like what I was doing, which was like cookie cutter pop, Maroon 5, whatever, trying to be cool hit. And this was not about that. This was like,
not everybody.
what?
Just in case you are cool in LA,
Well, whatever. LA is just cool, but whatever was going on in LA wasn't this.
Yeah.
This was something different. That was
it definitely felt a little different.
free and wild, and it's not really about trying to be perfect. It's about how do you express your emotion and spontaneity, and who cares what you say? Where do you just say it and mean it, and like let's just make stuff and not really worry about it.
Yeah, because nothing's been released. It's like it was just all. It's just all for fun, everybody.
Yeah.
And then with that mindset,
it was
you just
more
have
like
fun and you create cool.
It's like a therapy.
memories.
It's like a therapy session,
Yeah.
honestly. I mean, I just remember coming there, and whatever happened to me during the day came out on the mic as I'm, whatever we would jam would cause me to come up with whatever, and I would use whatever happened during the day or whatever I was going through, and just coming up with crazy cool stuff just because.
Yeah, they were cool.
Yeah, just like for me, you learn to trust your gut, learn to trust your musical instincts, and just like whatever comes out, go with that and just follow it. So that was Skip Room Part 1. Well, then
I had to tear that baby down.
he teared
gone.
He teared that thing.
Tear down. The Skip Room one.
Yeah.
That's something I also like about it too, because it's gone.
It's gone.
That sound is gone. That room is gone.
Yeah.
Disappeared. And all the music
We got some
made.
videos. There's some videos.
Some videos.
Yeah.
I have some songs that eventually will probably just start leaking out of that time period.
Yeah.
And then bought. Is that when I bought a house? Yeah, that's when I found a house to buy, because I was spending so much money on a mortgage or a rent. I thought, well, let me try to buy something. So I found this house.
Yep.
On Friday, they said somebody else bought it, and by Monday, they said it's yours if you want it. And I thought, man, this is next level stuff. Like, the price is up there, but I can make it work. Is this a smart move? I don't know. I'm just going to go for it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then that house.
It's worth mentioning that Skip Room 1 house also caught on fire. Jared left a towel on the towel heater, and that place caught on fire too.
And Jared was trying to say, which is not wrong. Like, that's not a great place to put a heater where you were supposed to put your towels. So interesting.
So then he bought the other.
About that.
And then he bought the other place, and it had a garage, vaulted ceilings. It was just a garage.
Yeah, I think maybe a 2-car garage or 1-car garage.
And for a minute there, you just had the place. You were kind of barely there.
Well, the house turned into, I had my room in one room, control room in a bedroom.
That's
instrument stuff was the living room.
That's right.
And that's where I started making, the first song out of that was with Jules, The Way She Smiles.
Okay.
Which that sucker's coming soon.
And then, I didn't know that. Okay. And then I remember, because we made that vibey Christmas album of mine too there with Miko.
Yeah,
his tape machine was in there.
Oh, we're going to bring it back.
Yep.
Yeah, because Jules, like, after we hung, at the first one, we were just talking about doing something again. Then eventually I saw him with Javen up in L.A., and we were jamming, and he was writing on this song, The Way She Smiles, and and had these lyrics and this melody, and then he showed up and we're like, let's work on it. So I kind of took what I've been doing, like this kind of improv thing, to this song where we just kind of got behind a guitar and drums and we just played through this song together with the structure, but also just kind of made some things up and then pieced together the melody and the vocals, and we made this song together. We're super stoked about it.
We were also, during this time, we were playing with our friends Lori and Shannon from The Close. They had a gig in North Hollywood. You and me, I think, were playing. Yeah, played that. They had every week, so we would go up there and play with them. And they did a 3-part harmony thing, and you did some tunes during that time with them. Mr. Bean has an idea or something like that. Or Bean has an idea.
Oh my gosh, yeah, totally. Yeah. They would come down, we would record. Oh, I was just some of the most fun moments hanging out with Lauren Shannon writing music. It happened so fast. And that was a big weekend of working on some songs with them. Still trying to figure out how this machine works when it comes to inviting people in now for
2018, 2019.
2017, I got that house.
Yeah.
So 2017 was a time where I bought this in spring. Also I went into a business with Hillary for Unruly, and then I went to Unruly for the summer while that house started getting the skipper room built out.
Okay. Yeah, and you're doing some, build out. So Unruly, tell them about Unruly.
Unruly Collective is owned by this woman, Hillary Megrose, and it's this idea of just having a community for artists to promote their art, give artists a place to not only work on their art, but to sell their art, build up their own business, perform at this space, make money at this space, come in from other countries, make art, try to sell it, that kind of thing. And so it exists in this building in Brooklyn. The basement's a music venue. That was kind of my thing. I came in and helped turn the basement into a venue, and the garden for a place of music. And that's evolved a lot since then. And then the upstairs, like a big gallery, which is the living room and kitchen, but it's got a bunch of people's work over the walls, and the upstairs where people live. And somebody wanted to get out of that partnership with her. And Hillary, I just met her, and I loved what she was doing. It's like music all day long, hanging in a community here in New York. Awesome. And so I ended up buying her partner out. And so Hillary and I have been partners on that since 2017. So...
And then
check it out if you want to go to cool events.
Yep. And then more things happen. Yeah. So you built
then
that
Skip Room
studio.
2 begins. What were you doing then?
Well, in 2018, I was in Paris, France for 2 months. I was in the Nut House. For 3 days, and then I was in.
We talked about that yet?
Well, yeah.
Just kind of toss it out.
Yeah, I've already talked about all that stuff. Okay. I've already talked about all. I have a whole podcast around that stuff. It's not for this. This is a different thing.
This is for me.
It's for you, yeah. I could take up all your time with that one. So after that, I was up in Ventura County. I got the job at the church up there. I was, my family, which is at this point is like an hour and a half away from where you live. So I just kind of had to figure out my times to come down, went down a little bit here and there, but it's kind of like where Justice began to, continue with these folks, and I'm popping in every now and then.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to be around as much.
Nope, I had to figure things out. But luckily, Lucas is a wizard of things and can fix and can do and can, you want a Lucas in your life by your side. It's
a mad scientist.
I don't get it. Magical creature. But him and we'd hang out at his house. Well, gosh, there's so much so many side stories. I don't know if I need to go into all of them, but.
Well, your side stories will be a part. This is hopefully a preface to what Justice is about to release.
That's true.
Which will be the story the story of the Skipper Room and all the different characters in great detail, along with the music and just so much cool
some
stuff.
footage, you know, I have
yeah.
a lot of footage and a lot of music and a lot of stories, and I'd love to tell you all about it. So I'm just going to tell you about the Skipper Room, and I'm going to incorporate some of these characters, and we're just going to tell you stories of the past couple of years of, well, we haven't gotten there yet in this, but we end up living in a community, but like,
yeah. So
anyways,
fast forward at this point to 2020, you've been kind of priming.
Yeah. Different characters would come down. We'd make music. They'd spend the night. Lucas would sleep over. Like, what am I supposed to do in this house by myself? Lori and Shannon came and lived for a couple months before they moved to Nashville.
There's a new drummer in the Things, Matt. And so you guys are like actual band now. So you're playing, practicing, looking at recording at the this studio is probably looking at that. Like,
we're
okay,
building
we're
the
going to make a record.
We're getting the gear. We're going to be here, and we're going to work on this album together.
Yeah.
Talk about
and then
exciting.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Oh my gosh.
That's like every band dream. It's like, let's just hunker down in a cool place, make a record, hang out, play music, play shows. And then 2020 happens, and you're like,
was Mom living there?
Oh yeah,
Mom was living there with me.
Came out.
Yeah,
Mom came out.
She took one of the rooms.
She came out in 2016 or 17. So we had a house together with Mom. What?
I rented a room to Mom, and like sometimes that was rude of me, but I thought, hey, it was very helpful.
It was rude of me.
And then Matt moved into I built a yurt, and that yurt, this little tent, 10 by 12 tent, became a thing. First, it was a place I would go and try to figure out what in the world I was doing with my life at this place. And then I would go there every morning and have some type of like, I was doing the 60-minute thing where I did 6 things for 10 minutes in the morning. And I would do it in there. And then that kind of mapped out the next couple of years, I think. And then Matt came. I was like, I'll rent your yurt to a tent from you. I said, okay, cool. And then Lucas was renting, paying to park his van. And so I was like, cool, I'm getting some help financially. This is cool. We're going to make some music together. And then I was coming back from a job on an airplane, and I saw this movie. And do you remember what it's called? Matt Damon's in it. It's some movie with Matt Damon and.
I mean, it's not called Pandemic, is it?
No, but the woman who's the girlfriend of Stark in.
Right. Is that Gwyneth Paltrow?
Yeah, she's in it. But anyways, the story goes where there's some type of disease comes from some animal in some
predictive programming
place that was far away that I don't know where it was. Very similar to a story that we heard. And then it took over people and got people really sick. And people were dying and people were freaking out. And then at the end, it was like, oh, thank goodness for the vaccines. Now we're all safe. And
that's crazy.
I got home and I was like, dude, I think this got to happen right now because we're getting in this zone where it's the same language. So I called all the people that I know that's been coming down to the Skipper Room and jamming and was like, okay, how can I fit as many people in this house? I'm not going to be able to work right now because I got to fly all over the world and I need some help. But ultimately, I was like, yeah, well, I wonder what they're paying because if they're paying this, I'll just say you can pay a lot less and live here. I was like, I had a perfect sales pitch. So I got on it and like Oscar.
Yeah, because they're living in probably dingy places in like West Hollywood.
Come down and make music every day.
Come down in this sick place in like a very nice area in south of LA by the beach.
Sick.
Pay little to no money and live.
Yeah, it was something. It was they did. Yeah, it was cool. They paid.
Yeah, heck yeah, it was sweet.
They rented the
yeah,
rooms.
and all of the, it's like hang out with all your best friends in the artist kind of community commune thing.
It's cool.
It's really funny because it's like, same thing. It was like where Bob was down the street, like literally on all sides. It's probably like doctors and lawyers and like
a little further though, because there was just one house up this hill. It was next to the house, right above the studio.
Yeah.
But I had a street that wrapped around. It was on a cul-de-sac, so the cars were a little loud. It was a little annoying, but at least there was sound or noise, so it's not just me making noise. But we were kind of tucked in this little tropical oasis. Eventually we had a little garden. We had a little yurt in the garden.
There's a little ravine in the back.
Well, eventually moved into a little yurt, took down a concrete wall and added a deck in the back, and Jules and Taos moved into the master, and then that's when Oscar and Brennan were there, and Caitlin was living in the garden, and then we got Adam living in the ravine.
How many
Lucas
total
Lynn,
people
Skylar,
at
Matt,
the time where there's 15?
I think 12 to 13 maybe when it was the most
musicians,
artists,
painters, artists,
just all kinds of
just mainly creative folks.
A lot of us were working towards the same cause of just like, let's push the things. And most of us played in the band together. Jules, Oscar, Adam, myself, Matt, Lucas. And so being there, we play shows on live stream. We play shows at the house. We would play anytime.
Had festivals. You had many day festivals.
Through mini festivals, yeah.
I'd come down, hang for a little bit, play, bring the fam for a weekend or whatever, head back.
Made a ton of music, like to tape.
Yeah, everything analog, and just like doing sweet live streams,
live streams are fun.
Yeah.
I feel like we were as soon as they were making it kind of a thing, Lucas and I did one, and
they had the sickest live stream on the whole internet.
I believe that first one we did, like before everyone got involved, it was like you could sit in your living room and feel like you're in the skip room and you're gonna get rock and roll blasted at you, in a way that I think was, if you like rock and roll, I mean. And we were having an experience. And Lynn, the one camera shooting is such an experience.
Movement on the camera.
Loved it.
Yep. And then you were out there for a little longer.
4 years.
I moved back in 2020, moved back to Tennessee. Was in Madison doing some stuff. You went down you sold your place at some point.
Oh man. There was just something started happening. I didn't feel it anymore. I was like, I didn't have the desire to keep recording. I didn't have the passion.
It's life shift.
I was getting cranky. Everyone's getting cranky. I was like, I think I gotta sell it. And so I almost did in December, and I backed out, and then I was like, I'm gonna do it. I went through a breakup, through a festival, sold my house, packed my bags, turned my Volkswagen into an analog studio, and I drove north. And I put a ton of money in my pocket because that house almost like, it's crazy. There's such a gift of how that house exploded.
Nice.
Like, it was insane. I was so pumped. And so I just drove away. And I was like, man, for 4 years I've been in community, trying to manage community and also sit in community that was kind of perfect and beautiful. Like, it was how I feel Earth could move.
You said
kindness, and
you said you like learn how to have conversations, push past awkwardness, confront. Maybe talk about that.
Well, there's definitely moments that I wasn't the best at this, but we all got pretty good at what we had to. Just having uncomfortable conversations, and
when you're all together,
knowing
all the time.
that it's like not anyone's fault. But it's to talk about things, to just be open, honest, transparent with each other, and no one's getting their fingers hurt. Fingers hurt. What? No one's getting their fingers hurt. That's priority around here. We got some serious pluckers.
Don't be getting your fingers hurt again. Play.
Feelings hurt. Some maybe, but like you become kind of brother and sister. And I was speaking with a friend of mine, Caitlin, who lived there for a little bit, and we were just talking about how like we shared this experience with these people, and I'll always have this bond with these folk for life. And we saw them we're adults. We had a child there, Taos and Jules. Her first 4 months was the skipper room, which was just colors and people and interactions. To be able to wake up to the sun, walk out into what Lucas named Waffle Town. I always told him, I gave him one chance to rename that, and he's like, nope. I was like, okay.
Waffle Town
Waffle
is basically
Town, and
like
we had so many people come through.
an Airstream
It's like a
van
tent under this huge tent.
It's the open area between the house and the skipper room.
Yeah.
Gardens, artwork, canopy, bohemian draping.
Yeah, when Lynn came
cloth.
into the picture, she made it sexier.
Yeah, there's a garden, walkways. Yeah, but
Purple.
still,
Now the studio's purple, and like there's oranges. Like yes. Those are my favorite things is when people would come into my space, and they're very appreciative of it or the house or the property, and then they add an element to where like, oh, I couldn't have done that.
yeah.
And there's Brenna, Lynn, actually everybody there.
I painted
there's
a mural on one of the walls where we did our festivals.
Yeah.
I painted
Coffee
the
and the
door.
Suns.
A lot of people painted. I painted the door. Other people painted the walls. There's just artwork everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Coffee in the Sun was sweet because that was our first like, hey, let's
Coffee
just
in the
move the
Sun.
instruments from that room to the other side of the property because there's a space on the outside. There's like,
Day festival.
hang some fabrics.
There's a couch in the trees.
Yeah, we have a
we're
platform,
sitting.
a tree with a couch, right? And then we decorate that. I think the first one we had the MC or Lucas had a mic hooked up and he would just talk.
He
from
was
the
doing
couch.
sound from the tree.
And then we had a little yurt out there, and then we'd pull up the Volkswagens or the vans. We open them up and create this environment.
Vintage like 68 Volkswagen bus.
Yeah.
Yeah. As
Have a
we're-
little bed in there. People could chill.
Yeah, which
We'd have
eventually
food.
became people's like living space. Like
Yep.
people rented out
I
the
rented
vans.
those babies out.
Yeah,
And we had food. And I remember Mom saying, like, that was one of the last things. She's like, do we need coffee? And I was like, well, maybe. I haven't named it Coffee in the Sun. And the reason I named it that is because when Lucas and Matt first come over to start recording this album, we would just sit in the sun. I mean, we sat in the sun at that place 60% of our time there. Like, just sit in the sun.
these
And we
guys would
drink
never
coffee.
wear shirts.
Nope. So nice. Every
They
single
probably
day.
wore a shirt 15% of the time.
Yeah. Yep. So we got some coffee for it.
So that was the skipper room.
Set up some shows to try to do like, here's a slot. And we were just like jamming. It wasn't too serious. We did a couple, and then one was so big, and the cops would come, and I had to like kind of make it quieter. And I thought, it's time to do one
Big time
on
festival.
a bigger property.
Yeah. And you did 2, 3.
I did 4 or 5. Yeah.
4 or 5 festivals.
Yeah. I want to say definitely 4, but maybe 5 because I did one the same year, 3. Let's just say 4.
I think 4. Found this property.
Well, it was the Dahl family. I knew.
Oh, that's right.
Devin through Ariel,
An artist,
and then
set designer,
and yeah, super talented, super cool. Her family had a property just north of LA, and we I don't know. We played a show in the city, The Things, like me, Matt, and Lucas, and then Devin said to come play at their property. So we came out there at like midnight and just set up a show while a couple of them just hung out by a fire, and we just blasted the music. And ever since,
it's up against a national forest, right? Their property backs up against.
there's
a
like
national...
these just quick hills, so it's hidden.
Yeah.
I think Lucas and Matt were fighting each other. I think I remember someone dragging somebody out of a bathroom. They had a wedding there that day. That's what it was. And then we came later.
I see.
So that's when we started vibing with them, and then eventually just talked to them about doing a festival. And I just like, for some reason, I did it 2 weeks. I decided at this point and decided to do it, and I had 2 weeks to do it. And we built, I mean, it's crazy what we built.
You built a
roller
roller deck rink, a half pipe, a stage.
There's like 40 4x8s or more for that rink.
Oh, it was massive.
Around
a tree.
Pipe. I had to go take a half pipe down with Lucas in San Diego, drive it up, and reassemble it. Because I was like, it'd be cool, man, if you could roller skate and listen to the things. I was just thinking the things. Like, what else could you do and listen to the things? Because everyone's loving the things. So we got to build our own little world here. And then built this sweet stage. I remember Lucas was like, dude, it needs to be bigger. I was like, okay, fine. So we made it bigger. And then
big stage.
We screwed the last screw in like 2 a.m. the night before the festival.
Yeah.
Pulled in, got vendors involved, and like.
Didn't you bust your toe? You kicked something and busted your toe too while you were doing it, or something?
I think maybe so. Oh, and built that sweet entrance. Remember that?
Oh yeah, it was great.
Just found a bunch of dead trees that are all like smooth and painted them and just stacked them Flintstone style and made this crazy entrance.
Surrounded by all the buses and the vans.
All the vans and buses were parked, dude. That was.
Rugs.
Rugs everywhere.
Yeah, it was sweet.
Yeah, it was
so
awesome.
did the festivals, and then you were down in Austin for a minute.
Yeah, I left all that, needed to chill, went to Austin, and checked out that scene for a moment. Yeah.
Yeah, and then at some point, Mom. Oh, here comes the kids. We get this property here, and
here in Greenbrier.
Yeah, and so pretty much all the stuff you see behind and other places that you'll have seen or will see, all remnants of the skip room. And some of those people have moved to Nashville. Music is still being made.
Yeah.
You got a place
we moved
back
all the stuff here.
Yeah.
This is all from the skipper room. Things have not. I'll take it from here. You
take it from here.
Good.
Give us a few minutes. We're finishing up a podcast.
Shipped all this gear here and actually haven't hooked it up. I mean, I haven't even looked at the footage from the last festival I did. I just haven't been in the zone.
We've been trying stuff. You bought a bunch of new stuff in Austin.
New stuff, new gear.
Trying to figure out how it all works together in a flow that is cool and that is productive and whatever.
You've been using it. I haven't really done anything in here.
I've tried some things, testing it out. I didn't really get to use it as much. That was mainly back then. It was kind of like you had it set up. You had your flow. I'd come in and pop in and hop into the flow, but I would have to leave, and so didn't get to really be involved so much because I had my family and whatnot. But I came enough to just enjoy the fruits of it and the festivals and play and kind of have all the friends and enjoy and but still kind of having my own path. And now here we are back in our roots.
Just working on a project today. We're building a house in a shipping container.
Back in Tennessee.
So let me do it.
Just like a couple of country boys.
Return to the roots.
Return back from our great adventure. Bring back all the things we've learned. Share the music and the love with the world.
Yeah, now I'm excited to talk about the skip room because I feel like
Part 3.
Stepped away from it enough, and the music's hits a little different, I think, now, because how all the music was made was just sporadic, random, in the moment, not too much thinking, and just a Saturday night with friends, and we just happen to have written a song that sounds great, you know. Jen and Jules standing in the bathroom across an RCA mic, like meeting for the first time and singing this song. And then, you know, Miko coming down and playing on a bunch of tracks, and Desmond doing a whole thing. Obviously the Things album we put out and the stuff I did with Zachary Murdoch we put out, but just excited to tell the story. There's so many cool characters that came through that world, and I hope to continue to come through to make music with us, and just kind of kick it and continue telling stories of interesting people. I like when people come over, you know.
Me too.
And just kick it and enjoy it, like have a vibe. So that's kind of, I think, what I'm doing, at least. Like I gotta build a vibe. I gotta have my house.
You about to release a song? Your first
my garage. I
single?
My Falcon. I am going to release my first song.
The Loneliest Road.
The Loneliest Road comes out on my birthday. I've told no one.
Oh.
Yeah, except for now.
Oh,
but
here it is.
The problem is,
what's the
why
problem?
I haven't, not a problem. The reason I haven't is because I like to see the product. I need to see my Spotify with my picture, with the video that I make, with everything lined up before I tell anyone, you know, because I don't think I have control, or maybe I don't have control over that first. It just bothers me telling someone until I can see what's going to be seen. So I'm going to wait. Well, I just blew it. I just told some people. So I was going to wait.
I haven't told anybody yet. You've only told me.
Just bleep it.
And that camera.
Just bleep out the date.
No one's, this is not live.
Oh, man.
We'll have to figure out when we're going to release this.
Oh.
Maybe you'll have all your stuff on by then.
Oh, that's a good point. So this is us in the past.
Here
I
we
may be
are
a different
in the
person.
Past. Here we are in the past.
Oh, man.
Talking about the future. Oh. Well, it's been real.
Yeah.
I'll probably see you
I wonder how long it's
later
been.
on. I can tell you exactly. It's been an hour and 35 minutes.
Nice, dude.
Can you imagine?
Do that 3 hours?
I was about to say, Joe Rogan, 3 hours, dude.
I mean, I don't know who wants to listen to this for an hour and a half.
I mean, we could definitely talk for an hour and a half more, but
like what?
I don't know what, whatever.
I'd be interested to know who watches this.
Yeah, who are you?
And like,
who are you out there?
Oh, speak up.
I can't hear you.
It's a nice camera, though. It looks nice in here, I think.
Yeah.
Got my lightning bolt pants on. It's just sweet. I was walking down Brooklyn. I saw these in the window, and I thought, I'm going to get me those. Comes with the top, too.
Comes with the top, too.
Yeah, like velvet lightning bolts on sweats. Like, who sees that? Oh, dude.
Who sees that?
All right, well, anything else we want to say?
I don't know.
We should add a little song to the beginning and to the end, and we should do that. Get out of here, poop. Get out of here, pee pee. Used to be water before.
Wait, there's no reference to what that is that you just said.
Not yet. Should we? Probably.
There's an entire world of improv moments.
I only have one of the tapes, though.
Music and song and dialogue that.
We just got in there and rolled the tape and was like, let's hang out and talk and
just
play
be
music.
goofy.
Yeah.
So maybe some of that.
It was fun.
Yeah. Get out of here, poop.
Yeah, I like to
probably
get out of
wondering
here,
what
pee
we're
pee.
talking about. Yeah.
It used to be water before.
It's a song about bowel movements.
It was.
It's what the world needs.
All right. Well,
On that note, there, partner. See you later.